We're now live. Welcome, welcome to the now third Geek Triumvirate podcast.
That's got to be some type of cool thing we have to name this.
Oh, the title. We need we need a name for the series. You mean, not just the podcast?
Well, that and the third and is Triumvirate.
Mm-hmm. There are three. Yeah. The meeting of the minds.
The meeting of the minds.
So, yeah, I thought we'd since it's actually like just happened and we both had a chance, or all of us have had a chance to already see it, talk about like Jurassic World, because we all love Jurassic Park, I'm sure, in our own different ways.
Who doesn't?
Um,
Altogether.
I've probably seen it. I don't even know if there's a count anymore, if that's even possible. I have at least, I know I have at least seen it. It's probably in the 25 plus easily. And at least 5 of those are in the theater.
Oh, wow. I may have seen it more.
Because the first one I know I saw when it originally came out, at least 3 times in the movie theater, and then a couple years ago when they had the updated 3D one that they had like a limited release in theaters for like 2 weeks, saw that twice.
Oh, wow.
So, and then watching, I'm pretty sure if I could find my VHS copy, it's probably got some really bad like stutter points from being watched so many times.
um, I remember trying to go watch it with my parents in the theater
Mm.
and them telling me absolutely not.
Oh,
And I
really?
had to wait for it to come out on VHS.
Really?
Yep.
Is it because they didn't believe in dinosaurs?
No,
Well,
they thought it would be too scary.
Oh, okay.
I may have been, I think it was 7 or 8.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys would have been younger than me for sure, because that would have been '92, so I'm like 12. So.
yeah, I was 7. I went and saw it on my birthday.
I was
Mm.
going to say, I think I was probably 6 or 7. I firmly remember making a case to go see it.
Yeah.
And they said, absolutely not. You have to wait till we see it to see if it's actually scary. And then when we watched it, they told me, if you have nightmares about this, we don't want to hear it.
Yeah, it came out in June of '93, so I was
I thought
6.
it was '92.
No,
'93. Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
so
June
that'd have been like
'93.
okay, so that'd have been like 13. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people anticipated how scary it would be. Which is why I definitely loved the new one, is that it did not hold back at all as far as being vicious and scary like the original one.
Right.
Oh,
I
and we
did
should
notice
we should
that.
say spoilers because we're gonna talk the crap out of this movie.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Um, because especially this, I recently watched like the honest I think it was the honest trailer, or maybe it was the cinema sins of like the second one, and it got really silly. I forgot all about how silly it had gotten. Like the second one, if you watched it, like half the time the raptors like jump around and like fall down and slide around and just like willy-nilly jump through windows to try to attack things. Like no sense of like very slapsticky.
Yes, I do recall that.
Hmm.
I think on the way home from watching Jurassic World, I was saying the lack of fake arms. I was disappointed.
The
Yeah,
lack of fake arm.
there's
Oh,
Samuel L. Jackson arm.
yeah, yeah. But I
Spoiler.
mean, but that was scary and like creepy, and they had good moments like that where people like get attacked and bitten and like killed viciously, and that's what the
Right.
movies need. That's what they needed, because I think that a lot of people remember the good, the kind of big epicness of like the T-Rex and the whole water scene and just the dinosaurs in general. But I mean, that raptor part, the second half of Jurassic Park, is just scary, and you dread them getting killed because at this point they have killed like every good person in the movie, like not good person, but like they have killed main characters in the movie. Samuel L. Jackson and um, the hunter guy, and even like the lawyer guy you assume is dead, um, or not. He's dead, but you assume like even like uh, Jeff Goldblum's character is dead at one point. So they don't
Hmm.
hold back, and that's what I liked about this one. Like people die, like there's no
Right. They're dead.
people don't just kind of almost get killed. People like die, and there's you know
Don't be a bad assistant and you won't get picked up by a pterodactyl.
yes.
That's
I would
true.
have. I was kind of hoping like she was gonna get like
Eaten by a raptor or
I
something.
was gonna hoping like some point they were gonna like just two of them were like. And this is where it was like, oh god, you want them to do it, but they're not going to. But just that two of them would have started fighting with her and like like split her apart.
Hmm.
But
I
it
was
would have been
waiting
in
for
the
that.
distance, so you'd have been like, I think that's what happened, but maybe her like clothes just ripped apart. Like no, you'd be like, okay, it's possible.
Right. I was always expecting it. I was kind of sad when it was just the other dinosaur that ate them and the other thing.
Hmm. But yeah, I definitely really liked the movie. I think it. I mean, it had moments you're like, wait, what? Like really? Like how come they haven't thought of this, or how does this all work? Compared to like the first movie. Um, so there were a couple moments you're like, oh, it's still a movie. You just wish it wouldn't like. You wish you had like them think of everything. Um, but other times it was like, oh, I want to know like why is everything so has managed to work for so long, and why is like the InGen, that whole security part, and Chris Pratt's character training, working with raptors, and like kind of a study, like how did he decide to get into that? Or they suggest that he was in the Navy, but like that doesn't really dictate any sort of like background in hunting or um, working with animals. And like if they were real, like it seemed like he wasn't really about like the war aspect of it.
Right.
So I'm
The
curious. I
setting
really
I
want to
was
know that.
wondering. Right. Because I would that whole time I was like, so what did he actually do prior to coming here?
Right.
There's
Um,
no backstory in that.
and even I didn't even really understand the context of like, okay, the one guy. So the InGen in the first movie is like Hammond's like company that he owns, and it's still the company. From what I could tell, is the company that makes all the genetics like monsters themselves.
Hmm.
What I didn't understand is why they felt there was this like separation of church and state about the whole like, well, we built you a new creature, but we can't tell you what is in it and why. Like, is that like corporate secrets? Like, why did they feel they had to like not tell them? Because at this point, they all know like they've been using all kinds of other stuff to probably make a lot more of those creatures actually come to life. They probably had to fill in a lot more gaps with other things,
Right.
or reconstruct them um, in ways probably not originally. Like he mentions in the movie, like, oh, you wanted them scarier. They don't even look like what they're supposed to. Like hinting at decades worth of research saying that a lot of what people think dinosaurs look like may not be real once you get to the
Right.
flat. They all may some of them may be covered in feathers and all this kind of stuff. Um, I didn't understand why they had to be a big secret, and everybody was okay with that. That didn't make sense to me.
I think at the end they noted that it was all about the military portion of it because they wanted to use it as a weapon.
Hmm.
I think for them that was how that worked out because if they told somebody, then it was going to get out that they were using it as a weapon.
Right.
Well, not to mention from the first one, back in Jurassic Park, they made note about how intelligent the raptors were. So maybe they just wanted to leave out, yeah, we put raptor DNA in this big ass dinosaur.
Yeah, that's why I was like, well, how if you're from like if you were just doing it to keep it, secret from outside sources, but if you're like, oh, we made you this dinosaur as a new attraction, how are they supposed to be able to figure anything out about it if they don't know if it's a new dinosaur? You know what I mean? It's like that's the part I didn't get. Like, why would they have to be secret about? Like, look at all these cool things it might be able to do. Like,
right.
You're basically saying we built this giant killing machine for fun, and then you guys just put it in a big giant like box. No, like I would think it would need more context to it.
Right.
Like an ice cream maker.
But I like that they set up, kind of another movie with the whole like the one scientist guy still has all the like a bunch of embryos left over.
He just flies off in his helicopter.
Flies off in his helicopter. It sounds like him and the one, guy from Daredevil, Vincent D'Onofrio, had some sort of side deal separate from either one of them.
Well, yeah, because
companies.
He wanted to make sure his agreement was still going on, and that he was going to get his money.
I thought it was interesting that they did end it very like open-ended. You're like, well, what happened? Did they just nuke the place? Like,
right.
Well, there's going to be other movies, so.
Yeah, and and the thing they didn't mention, that they were that was right out of the book in the first movie, and they did a bad job. They tried to make it seem like an interesting thing in the second movie, but didn't do a very good job. But they had built all the DNA with that like requiring those amino acids that they could give to them in food, or they basically like would die off again. And that like in the second movie, basically the other island was able to like the creatures were able to adapt and find a way, and it was a whole nature finds a way thing. I would think they would still have that in place as actually something more sophisticated to basically like, oh, if things get too far away, they just explode, basically.
Right.
Like they've got trackers in them that have like explosives in them. Like that has to happen. Like it wouldn't make sense not to.
Right.
How could you build that giant like alligator thing and think? How would you chase that thing down if it got out?
Right.
With like you'd need a bunch of like warships and like a sub. There's no way you could just get on a boat and chase that thing down.
Right, and people willing to get on that sub.
Well, not to mention when they showed the island at the distance at the end, you still had pterodactyls flying around.
Right.
So were they just expecting, oh, they're just gonna hang around the island and not fly off?
Right, and one was already trying to fly off when they shot it. It was just
with the T-Rex face.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my favorite.
That was the only thing I was kind of like, oh, it's really good, but like you kind of go, man, they would have like a freaking army worth this like stuff to take this stuff down. There'd be no way anyone would let them get away with it without basically like the world community would be like, man, one of those things gets out, like
what do we
a couple
do?
of these things get out. Like, yeah, we need to know that you basically have like some sort of military like force behind it, or like the UN would have to say like this is too dangerous of a thing,
Right. That's what I was saying on the way home. If anything, or if anybody were to attempt to do that, it would have to be aside from any national government, but it would have to have like a UN type overseeing it to avoid one government saying, well, if you get to do that, I get to do this.
Right.
If you get to do that, I get to do this. Because the U.S. has it, and then Russia wants it. If Russia wants it, this person wants it. If that person has it, that person has it. So, and it's just ends up everybody has a T-Rex, and everyone starts to genetically modify, and that's exactly what happens.
Basically. Yeah. But I mean, I think it definitely captured the spirit of the movie, the first one, a lot. A lot of good characters that some of them took a while for you to give a crap about, but
Like, where did the stormtroopers come from that got in the helicopter that couldn't shoot the dinosaur?
that was probably the one of the more major plot points that I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So if you guys don't have you have one helicopter, first of all, and you don't have a helicopter that's already got that gun mounted to it. I mean,
Right, you're not prepared for this.
yeah, it just seems like there could be a little bit more preparation, like just in general, of like, listen, we gotta have like literally like tank type things just ready to go at a given notice.
And then have someone that's actually trained to shoot it.
Right. This guy seemed like they were like
And not,
way incompetent. I mean, it's not that hard to know if you're like a helicopter crew at all, you're gonna be strapped in, so you wouldn't fall out.
and don't miss a 50-foot dinosaur running.
Right.
Don't shoot behind it.
I didn't understand, like, how would they have that's their only helicopter? Just no.
Right, and
Can't
they
be.
made mention in the movie that it was based on the fact that this has happened before.
Right.
How were you not prepared for this to happen again?
How do you not have like a cool, just big SUV
Anti-dino.
truck
Right.
that just drives at the thing, and the thing could like start attacking it? It's just it's armor plated and it starts attacking it, and then it like shoots spikes out of it, and so the thing gets you just impale its head because it's trying to bite on this truck. You're done.
Right.
The movie's over.
Or have or just have weapons strapped on the spear things. Since it took them a while to destroy the one the kids were in, just put weapons on it.
Oh yeah. That's true. Or just
Roll
put a
around
bunch of like bombs inside some like animals.
I still can't get over the fact that they didn't do anything. Like, you have pterodactyls, and this whole time you're not going to put anything over the glass. You're just going to assume that they're going to stay inside of this dome. Nothing is ever going to crash through this glass dome. So we're going to put all of these inside this glass dome.
Yes.
They'll never get out. In case they do, let's not put shelter like the steel, like garage doors over any of our shops, because we don't want to protect anybody that's staying here.
No.
So it's just all glass, and some of them are just going to be open stalls, because just take shelter underneath this umbrella, please. That's how I saw that. I'm like, it's going through the glass. Why do you guys not care at all about this?
I would think they would have been required to have some sort of like bomb shelter type situation to hold a certain amount of people. That just has
Underground to
like a couple,
withstand.
just a couple big doors or something like that, on one end. I mean those raptors. How did like that raptor that got the guy with the bad Vincent D'Onofrio guy where he comes in and bites him? How did he get like that far into the back of a building? Did they open every single door? I mean, there's not one single door that needs like a keypad or like doesn't have like a really cheesy like door handle, but actually needs. I mean,
Well, these raptors can open doors.
can't open every door. But that's my point. Like,
Why
if you're
not
talking
have
about
like an
like a
actual doorknob
facility,
somewhere?
if you're talking about a facility and anybody that's still alive from the first movie said, "Oh yeah, they can open doors," so you might want to like have like a Simon Says like pads or something. You're not going to be able to just have like I mean, they probably wouldn't even know how to use like a sliding door. I mean, I don't know.
Something somewhere should have told them have a different type of door somewhere so they cannot get in. A dinosaur panic room.
I think it's like only people that probably really appreciate the movie really care like this much of like, oh man, it needs to be. I would like I don't know if there's like a novelization of the, but I'd like to see if they find a way to get a comic book or um maybe some like little mini movies, kind of like how the Marvel did some movies. I'd like to see like some more context of like leading up to it,
Hmm.
just because I think it was just as fascinating because you're constantly like, wait, what? Wait, why is it this way? I want to know that. Um, but I think it was real obvious about the whole divorce thing pretty quickly. It
That's
took a
true.
while to give a crap about the kids, unfortunately.
I think I cared about the little one. The big one at first, the older one, I was like, already, you gotta stop it with the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Obviously, don't care that you have a girlfriend.
Right.
Yeah. It was very like, wait, what kind of character are they trying to like set up that he's just like, I'm an older teenager who doesn't care? Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure unless you've like, no, if you see a bunch of dinosaurs, you can be like, yeah, I don't care crap about like a bunch of girls here. Like everybody making it such a big deal, like, or it's so blasé, like it's just going to Disney World.
Right.
It's like it sounds like a lot of money to go check this thing out. Like, so I doubt you're gonna be like, yeah, this is cool, whatever.
Right. And it's not like it didn't seem like he had been there 2 or 3 times a year. Like, season passes to Jurassic World. I'm just
Right.
gonna go
Right.
again. I mean, he had VIP tickets, so obviously his aunt had to hook them up with something. So his little brother was super excited to be there. They hadn't been there all the time. And as an adult, I could say that going there, I would be like, screw everybody else.
Right.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah. So it took a while to get that going. I mean, I'm glad they didn't really try to like wedge anybody into like any of the characters from the first movie, like in the same way.
Hmm.
I don't know how much they needed to have like the romance like past they went on a date, the two, Chris Pratt's character and Bryce
Hmm.
Howard's. But I mean, I guess it made it at least more plausible of like why either one of them would continue to get involved in the whole situation.
I think the one that unnecessary thing from that situation is at the very end. So what do we do now?
Yeah, it
And
felt
that
very
is
like
in
romantic comedy.
every
Yeah.
single movie. And take a clip from the end of it where they. So what do we do now?
Right, like it should be like him going, "Let's go kill some," like cocking a gun, like "Let's go get these dinosaurs."
Dinosaurs. I'm like, okay, if I have my pet raptor, it's gotta come with me. It's,
My
And
that's
the
all
Adventures of
unnecessary.
Blue.
what's that?
Jurassic World 2, The Adventures of Blue.
He's like,
There's just no actual people, just blue.
no, they all somehow get on a boat somehow, and they go to like another island nearby and find like a tribe of people, and they like the tribe of people are like indigenous, so they have their own language and everything, and then they end up like the one of the tribe leader guys is like a midget, and then they make a saddle for him and he just rides it around. And then the raptors help this tribe take down like a deforestation like corporate guy and like a bunch of like
Wait, they just take it back. This is our island.
right, they take it back with
They form
dinosaurs.
a dinosaur-human alliance.
Right, exactly.
It's okay. I like you. You can ride me.
Right, exactly. It'd be awesome.
That would be really cool. If that if that can be made into a movie, it needs to be somehow a comic book.
No, yeah, I think so.
I would read about
Um,
that. I want to know more about Blue and his adventures.
my friend Jason called me last night after they had seen it, and he said and I don't remember seeing it, but there are a couple times or two times where you can see Jeff Goldblum's character in the movie. And it's apparently not. You can't tell very well in either cases. But one of the times is when they're on like the monorail. The assistant, she's reading a book, and apparently it's his book. Like you can see the back cover, and it's just in focus enough you can kind of tell it's him.
Hmm.
And then that same book shows up somewhere in somebody's office. Like I don't know if it's the main lady's office or if it's like in the control room or something. I can't. He's trying to tell me where it was, and I didn't understand where it was. So
Wow.
I'm gonna go. We're gonna go see it again tonight at 7. So I'm gonna look for that.
Yeah, let us know where it's at because we'll probably end up going to go see it again.
Because that's the only thing I had not caught a lot of anything else. I want to see like some more of the stuff where they show the store front and everything. I know there was like an annoying amount of like that Seoul storefront area. There were quite a few advertising.
Hmm.
A lot of Samsung like stuff all over the place.
Did you see when they were in the auditorium looking at that alligator dinosaur
Mm-hmm.
and all the Jamba Juice?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, how many Jamba Juice cups can
There's like
there
a
have?
Pandora store, which I thought was cheesy. Like there's like a jewelry store. Um, Mercedes a lot in it because all the vehicles.
Right. I was telling Andrew, like, and I was like, I wonder how much they paid to have only their vehicles on this.
Yeah, because like it was kind of like, where's all the Jeeps? These all need to be Jeeps. Can't be like Mercedes, but whatever. They probably paid a lot.
Oh yeah.
But overall, I think it definitely captured. It was like, wow, there's just a lot of dinosaur in it, and it's not cheesy.
Right. There were quite a bit of dinosaurs. I was pleased with that. Oh, my favorite dinosaur part, the baby dinosaurs when the little kids were hugging them.
Oh yeah, I did. I did. It was creepy. The whole like the pterodactyls like trying to like snag them away later
I
when they all show
loved
up.
it.
Or they're like
It was
grabbing
trying to
them.
take it with a saddle.
Yeah, it was like, wait, do they want to eat them or just toss them around? I'm confused. What's going on?
It was trying so hard to pick that one up, and I was laughing so hard. It just wasn't gonna budge. It just goes plunk.
um, yeah. So overall, I thought it was, um,
I was pleased with it. I like it.
yeah, I was really like, okay, well, I was trying to avoid any like reading reviews or, but once I knew that I was skeptical, but at the same time curious about when I had read that, okay, Chris Pratt's character has basically got some ties to these raptors and somehow has trained them and or done something to them.
Hmm.
Ever since they had released like the screenshot showing him or the trailer that showed him riding with them,
Hmm.
it was like, okay, this is curious. Um,
Yes. I was interested to see what that would be.
but I didn't know the extent of what they were going to do with like how it tied to the first one. They clearly glossed over the other movies, which is fine.
Yes. And I like that they didn't completely ignore the first one. The the guy's name was Larry that was in there with the Jurassic Park shirt.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah, I like
that
that.
first park was legit.
Yeah, I kind of like that. That was interesting. Of like, oh yeah, but it's in that context of the world. It's like in horrible bad taste
Right.
because there probably more
It
people
was the
died than
perfect day to wear
they
that
probably had
though.
more people died than they probably it could really explain in the movies too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Um, but yeah, I like the only thing I wasn't sure of that was was the T Rex the same T Rex? I don't
Yeah,
think it was. Was it? Okay.
they said it was that only two of the characters were returning from the first one, which was the Doctor Wu guy, and then the T-Rex was going to be the same T-Rex from the first one.
Got it. Because I don't know what like I don't really know what we know, or like in the context of this movie, like how long these dinosaurs like life cycle is.
Right.
Um,
Because he did look beat up. Like, he came out, and
right.
I was like, it's an old dinosaur. Like,
Because,
he's...
like, some lizard type creatures, amphibians, have really long lives and some have really short lives, so.
Right, there's some parts of them that are really tiny. So, I mean, you don't know what else is not injured.
Yeah.
You don't know what
Yeah,
else
that was.
is not proportionate for their
My
bodies.
my niece Ariel was like, laughed when they finally had that T-Rex come out, because you realize in the context, comparing it to that other one they created, how small the T-Rex's arms were. Like, what's the point of even having them?
That's so true, because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, that poor guy. And the other one's like, and he's like, eh. I'm just going to bite him instead.
And I thought it was interesting them have, like, if that new one was so smart, I think it would have been able to probably take everybody down a lot easier.
Oh, yeah.
But, it made for a good fight for sure.
It did. I'm happy that the little raptor came back. It
Yeah,
was
that was
unexpected, but when you look back, you're like, yeah, I was going to come back. At the time, I was like, he's dead. I was happy he came back. It was expected, I guess.
Mm. No, I like that. I definitely liked that part. I know I've seen a lot of people posting about, like, maybe the impossibleness of her wearing high heels basically the entire movie.
Oh, absolutely. I was thinking that. Like, it was like, they really are expecting us to believe that she walked around in stilettos in mud.
Yeah,
No.
and then like, I didn't even think about it till, like, they lit that shot where she's literally getting chased by the T-Rex with the flare and everything, and it's like, wait, she's still wearing them? Like, she's had a chance to go get some other shoes.
Or just be barefoot at this point. Like, I'm sure
Right.
that would be better for you.
Yeah, like, I
No
was
way
like,
she was running with that T-Rex like that and outrunning him.
right. It was like, no, probably not. Probably not.
Not at all.
But that's why I was like, wait a minute. They've literally gone back to her, like, office and the control room. She does not have like a pair of boots. Like, I don't know how you would it just looks like you didn't care because of, like, some weird it doesn't even look like an oversight. It looks like, oh, that's just women. That's fine, kind of thing. We'll just shoot it that way. Like, we don't need, like, there's no reason you couldn't have changed it other than continuity, I guess. Like, but this, I mean, and considering it's technically like a digitally screened shot, and it's probably the only shot that you see her feet, you couldn't just go, yeah, let's just get her in some boots and we'll be fine and it'll make sense and no one will care. No one will think it's cheesy.
I would have been fine if she wasn't wearing shoes.
Yeah, or that too. I mean, it
It would
just
have been
seemed
more
odd.
plausible because she was driving the really big truck. I can't believe that she was driving the really big and doing everything she needed to do in those shoes.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true as well.
She was running at full speed in a lot of that.
Yeah, because even when she ran to the truck and everything like that.
hmm And she was climbing on stuff and she was walking through mud in the forest in those shoes. Chris Pratt's character even pointed out, get out of those shoes.
Right, that's why I didn't understand. Like, you pointed out in the movie, just, you have an opportunity to have not had her in them anymore. Just do it. Like, that seemed weird to me.
Right. But to them, and to a lot of people, it's like, oh, that's just women. They love their heels. They're going to wear them. No. It is time for sensible shoes. You are running away from dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's
They're
why.
going to eat you.
Yeah, I didn't I mean, it was a funny, joke in the moment when he says it and how she changes, but then she would have had a chance to find some sort of shoes that probably would have been easier to run in.
Right.
There's dead people all around. She could have just grabbed some different shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
+4 dexterity. We got to do something.
Yeah, there's like there's a whole bunch of like there's probably just like a employee like uniform center that somebody's just got boots lying around or something like that. I mean, yeah, that was kind of like and I could hear people literally saying it as the shot was going on, like practically saying it out loud, like, wait, really? What? I'm pretty
I
sure
think I
somebody would have.
said, I'm like, still the shoes. Take off the shoes. You're not going to run away from a T-Rex in heels. It's not going to happen.
No, no.
I believe that was the one moment I was like, I hope she gets eaten. Because obviously, you put your shoes over your life.
Yeah.
Those shoes would have been thrown out the minute that I had to run through the forest. No.
But yeah, there was a lot of moments you're like, even the stuff about like I didn't get it, it's one of those like, oh really? Like the whole like the part where the one Indominus Rex first escapes and like it's clear that like all the like security people, like one's like a fat stupid guy. It's like really like this seems like they would have to like have very like oh we're going into like a weird like these are people that could barely make it like they probably couldn't even get into like homeland security and like
How
airport
do they get
security
onto
so
the
they
island
so
security?
yeah so we'll just have them be like in charge of giant killing dinosaurs, sure, why not?
Sure, it's okay. You go ahead and you pay attention to the screen. I don't have to do anything else. Just look at the screen.
Right.
If it gets out, it'll just be busy eating you.
Like you need to be able to outrun at least some sort of animal before you are allowed to be one of their security guards.
Yes. In my opinion, the door that they open for him to get out, why is that the only door? Why is it the big gate that's open? Why is there not like a person-sized gate
Right.
It looked like
right
there
next to it?
was. That's how they got in.
Right.
Just
So
open.
why go to the big dinosaur-sized gate so the dinosaur can get out?
Well, because he didn't want to like they were trapped between it, so he used the only one available, and that's where it's like, if these were people like trained in a particular way, they wouldn't do it. Or actually, that's the part that really bothered me. Also, I guess a little bit of being nitpicky was the lack of like how it felt like there was a control room and all these security measures, but basically, if the security measure should be that these doors can no longer open the minute there's like a thing, like you just those three should have been dead because it would in less lives would be endangered.
Right. Well,
That
they
should be
should never been
the
able to go
security
inside of it.
measure. Right. At least not with like they should have a mech suit on if they're gonna go in and check on it.
Right. Or some type of like flying camera. Like you have this crane that delivers food. Why is there not a camera that can go
Right.
over it?
Get a drone flying through there just to check on it, or
I mean, Amazon Prime has little tiny drones delivering stuff. Why can't we get one with a little tiny camera?
mhm, exactly. So I mean, there was some stuff you're like, oh, why can't it like? Basically, we want the movie not to happen because it's just all a lot of dumb stuff.
You guys are being stupid now. Come on. You want the movie or you don't want the movie? You gotta pick one.
Right, and that's like you're like, oh, like I want it to be the way it
Yeah, I
is.
want the movie, but I want it to happen in a good way. Like the whole time they show up at this little tiny cage, and I'm like, so it's just the concrete barriers that they put on the side of the road, just stacked on top of each other, keeping a big dinosaur inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would have had like a whole roof, and I mean, the thing was 40 feet long. I'm pretty sure you want like an 80-foot high like wall.
Wall that has more of something that will back it up, so it can't just like push on it or run and like push and it crumble. I mean, on The Walking Dead, they had at least some type of beams to keep the walkers from pushing against it,
Right,
knocking it
right,
down.
right.
And it just seemed like they didn't have that.
And how would they not? I would if you had built like a wall that a sort like how is there not just a bunch of like guns on top of it ready to like turn on it?
To take it down, right?
Yeah.
Or some type of net to drop.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be something. How are you not prepared for this?
Like an I would have just put it in an under like had a false floor that could just open up and it would drop down into like a 50-foot like hole in case of emergency. They could just press this button and the thing would drop and be trapped underground.
Yeah.
What is it
Right.
going to do? Dig its way out? No, it's not a gopher.
Oh no, it had those claws.
I mean, I'm sure it could
They could
dig
try.
a little bit, but I doubt it would get anywhere.
Yeah, it wouldn't do anything, but it would certainly try.
Yeah, it seems like the only one that was actually like a sound like pen as far as like letting nobody getting out or in technically is the
raptor pen.
raptor pen.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's the only
I mean, the
one
one-
that they said was an actual problem.
Right. I mean, I would have like said like, oh, if you're going to be on top of it and you have to catch something, you probably could be strapped in also, so it wouldn't happen. But
Like the pig.
just why wouldn't they just let him eat the pig? I don't understand. Like,
Right, that's what I was. I'm like, the pig.
Did
Well,
they-
that's the guy.
they can get another one. Like,
I mean, it might be like a control thing, but I mean, even then, pig or person.
right.
Obviously, you save the pig.
I was curious though. Once I saw, like, I realized that they stuck them in those cages like that. How do they get them to go in there?
Right.
Because that's something you don't see like in a zoo. You'll see them get forced by reward and food into like an indoor cage or something like that, or a small room that's, for nighttime sleeping, as like especially like lions and tigers and all that stuff. But I've never seen like any animal have to be like would be willingly kind of put into such a immobile position.
Well,
So I thought that was kind of curious.
No.
I'm like, how did they
Yeah,
get them to do that?
and I would say like cows and goats are not
They're docile
dangerous.
creatures. Yeah, but they're docile creatures.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not, bloodthirsty raptors. So, but I was like, how long are they in there like that?
Yeah, that's the part I was like, is that like when they examine them, like how often are they in that thing? Is that, you know what I mean? Like, I
Right.
can't imagine that those kind of those kind of creatures can, it's like sharks. You can't really, you don't want them like immobile like that. You need them moving around, or I wouldn't even think they'd be able to stand up if they weren't like balancing themselves properly. I don't know.
Right.
So I was kind of curious of that. I'm like, how the heck did they convince these things to like put their like whole head and jaw into something that will
Come over
prevent them?
here, put
I guess
your
they-
neck in here, let us clamp it down, and then put this big cage over your head.
Hmm.
No food for you.
I guess they liked Star-Lord, so they just listened to him.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I want to know how like
Belly rubs.
well, he said he like imprints on
Undertones.
them. So how many raptors have they made? How young are those? How long has he been doing that? If he was because they said they can like accelerate their growth.
Mm-hmm.
So did they do that? Do they do that with all of them? Still, if and he like imprints on them. So that was kind of interesting to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So he must have been doing it for a while.
I don't know.
Did they say how long that particular park had been open? I did not catch that.
I mean, it's supposed to be, basically 20 years after the original, but it doesn't say. I'm going to assume that it's probably been at least like a 15 years it being open, because they made it sound like their operating costs were, you know, versus the money they were making because of people must go there enough times to see everything.
Right.
So I think they had said it had been like, I think they had said at some point something about like 5 years since they had anything new or anything. Some context if it had been a good couple years, and that's why they needed a new attraction. I think that when the scientist guy and the one owner in charge guy are talking and debating about what he had done, I think they mentioned something about it had been a few years since they had
Hmm.
created anything for him. So I imagine it's at least been like, 15, almost 20 years off the ground, you know, where
Hmm.
people would have gotten that bored and they got everything down to a science.
Right. And
And
they
not,
forgot about people getting eaten.
right. Because I'm sure that took a couple of years just to like the lawsuits to end and
Die down. Just start back up again.
right,
Right.
in
Just in time.
in the context of like, oh, he gave it over to Hammond, so Hammond must have like convinced the world like,
Whoops.
hey, I'm gonna do this again. It was all a mistake the first time. There will be no problems this time, kind of thing.
And then he dies, and he's like,
Right.
Dinosaurs. Like, you can control them. Like, here's these really massive creatures. I'm just gonna keep them behind a tiny wall. It's okay.
Yeah, I didn't. But overall, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing again and seeing what else is, in there that I can spot. And
Right, because now you can watch it and look for things as opposed to watching it and having like that big dumb grin on your face because you're like, oh, look at the old
right.
stuff
And I had to
too.
like, and it was a packed crowd, and so that always like annoys you when people are like talking a little bit.
a little bit.
They,
I think I was the one talking to Andrew because we went to one of those where you can dine in, so it was just the two of us and then like a foot between him and the other person, and
oh
then
right,
I
right.
was the one that was like, oh
Yeah,
look.
people that were just talking the whole damn movie.
Were they? I didn't hear them at all because they were so far away.
Well, yeah. See, and in this you could tell like there were a couple moments where people just talking, and like I had some guys behind me that were like definitely kind of nerdy, annoying, preppy guys. I don't know what they were exactly, but the whole time we were getting, waiting for the movie because we had like about couple minutes there where like they stopped the audio of any sort of, or no, they started the trailer audio, but it played one of the, I don't remember what trailer played, maybe Ant-Man or something like that, and then there was no picture and just quiet. And they just kind of kept dragging and dragging, and people got a little restless. But these two guys behind me just would not like just. They had to get every bit of conversation out, and so then it actually did start. We're like, 10 seconds into where like, God, it'd be nice if people like shut up. And I literally turned around and just told them to shut the fuck up, and just with every ounce of like hatred I could. And the one guy tried to like put up a fight of like, no, you shut the fuck up. And then the other guy was like, but the movie hasn't. He's like halfway trying to say like, but it hasn't even started yet. Like, and I'm like, no, you're gonna shut the fuck up. And I just turned around.
It doesn't matter if
And
it started because you want to see these two.
because I could tell they would chat.
Right.
And we had a bunch of like, and me and my sister ended up having to tell like a bunch of annoying like, punk, like, teenager type guys. I don't even know if they were probably from around here. They were probably not. We had to tell them to like stop talking pretty quickly, like 10 seconds after I told those guys to shut up. I had to tell the one guy to take his hat off. I mean, it was just obnoxious. Now I had one of my friend Jason's, who was his coworker, and he was a groomsman in the wedding. Brian was actually sitting. So basically the theater was like a two-section one where you had like a large down front, and then like maybe like 5 or 6 rows that do like a slight stadium seating. So there's just a long like a middle section that's where people walk. There's not like and then 2 aisles down the side. So they were actually back in the other section, and we were like in the second row of the front area, and the back row was just like it was a 4 and 4 seats, so there was like a whole like handicap section. So I was behind where there was a handicap like open area, so people could see me. He apparently was there. I didn't know this. He saw me turn around and tell these guys to fuck off, and he was like, I ran into him afterwards, and he's like, dude, I saw you do that. That was hilarious. Like you just looked like you were ready to kill these people. And I'm like, I probably was. I was probably channeling a lot of other anger into that moment.
I think we've reached that age, because I was telling Andrew, it's like, if they are that loud during the movie, I'm going to have ushers/waiters tell them to leave, because I'm not going to deal with that. Because I could hear their conversation when we were eating.
I still could.
Well, you could have said something, and if you had, I would have had them say something to them.
I did. I told you.
You're not telling me they were still talking. Anyway, that I would just have them leave. And I have told people before, I've had them come in and have them taken out.
Mm.
At this point, I pay for my movie, and when I talk in Andrew's ear. I don't bother anybody else. Leave if you have a conversation you need to have.
Well,
Unless you want to pay for my movie ticket.
Now that I know a bunch of the people working there, and if I get a chance when it's like, I mean, Jason and Marie, they've gone to movies, like either watched the end of a movie or just gone on a day off and seen a movie, and she ends up doing stuff all the time and telling people to be quiet, or, you know, you're not going to be allowed in here again because you brought in a bunch of food, like, you know, basically just like these people think they can do whatever they want. I decided though, because the bunch of guys in front of us were, you know, chatting way too much, that if it happens again, like where it's that kind of thing, or even I even noticed the guy next to me and his girlfriend, like sometimes could hear them her talking, like, and him just ignoring it. I'm like, I want to just turn and be like, hey, what was that? I didn't catch what you said. Like, can you repeat that? Because I really want to know what your opinion is right now on this movie.
At this very moment.
Yeah, like, I want to know what you have to say. Like, why don't you share it with all of us? Because we're clearly here to know what you think. And just see if that works.
Can we pause the movie, please? Where's the pause button?
Right.
Stand up. Can everybody stop for a second? We need to know what these people think.
So
it's so important
that
we know.
I don't know where it's just become a weird rudeness thing. I don't know where it's happened.
And it's like, I've gotten to that age where people start calling me young man.
No, but I've always like, yeah, I should just be like, young man, shut up. I really want to just be like, I have a very large knife, and if, you know, you don't shut up, I'm gonna stab you in the throat. But I'm gonna be like, but I'm gonna do it. So you're gonna just slowly bleed out. So you're gonna have to sit here and watch this movie because you won't be able to scream, and you won't be able to move,
and you won't be able to talk during it. So
you won't be able to talk. So it'll be nice.
It'll be a pleasant movie for me because I will have gotten out all of my rage on you.
Right.
And I'll be quiet. And I'm gonna take your drink and your soda and I'll be quiet.
And nobody's gonna believe them if I'm like, I just was telling him to be quiet. I didn't threaten him in any way. That's my thinking. I don't know if it'll work.
You just have to say it with a smile. That way nobody knows that's what you did.
I still think like the only way it's ever gonna work, instead of like, you know, an M&M characters or Minions or something silly of trying to be like, hey, turn off your cell phones and everything. I think it just needs to be Samuel L. Jackson in full-blown Samuel L. Jackson mode, just telling everybody, turn off your phones, shut your mouth, you motherfuckers, or I'm going to come hunt you down if you do. And I think everybody would, because everybody would realize in that moment of like, yeah, it's kind of a dick. Or just if somebody came up and said, you are a dick if you act this way.
Stop being a dick.
Call everybody out. Don't make it be like, just turn your cell phones. Like, call everybody out of like, you are a horrible person if you cannot turn off your phone and shut your mouth.
Put it on silent. We don't want to see it turn on if somebody texts you. Put it down. We don't want to see the light. Stop it. Stop being a douchebag.
Yep, those same guys in front of me. I had to tell them to put his phone away because he kept trying to text a bunch. And I was like, just leave.
Because
You
you
don't
should put
deserve
the
to be
flashlight
here.
on your phone and then just shine it right over him.
Right.
Did you need more light?
It's a good idea. I like that idea too. Just bring a flashlight with me.
Flashlight and a foghorn.
Flash it in his face. Be like, oh, I just wanted to see I wanted to see your douchebag face better. And I've been spoiled now because Jason and Marie have been able to let me tag along to some of like when they first had a chance to see the movie. So we saw Avengers and Mad Max like on a Tuesday after midnight, so technically Wednesday morning, because that's when the code was available to watch the movie.
Oh.
Like it unlocked at that moment. So we basically so it's just the three of us watching a movie by ourselves.
That's nice.
And once you do that a couple times, you're like, this is awesome. I don't ever want to go to a movie with people ever again.
People suck.
So, and the only reason it didn't happen with Jurassic Park is because they were in Vegas all week. So we didn't even get a.
You should have told them that they were not allowed to go on their honeymoon until until you get to see Jurassic Park. Like, no, I'm sorry, you have to delay that because I need to see Jurassic World.
Well, at one point, they were going to go down. They were flying down through Detroit. So at one point we were discussing if I tagged along, drove them down, and because they didn't really want to let his aunt borrow their car for the week, and they didn't want to leave the car at the airport. So they were talking about having me drive down and then drive back. And on the way, like picking them up, because I think they got in the afternoon on Friday. Hey, we could go like see it in IMAX or something downstate, because there are a couple of those. So that was at one point what we were going to do. I think it ended up not even doing that because it wasn't even showing at like the IMAX that they had hoped. It was like, well, that's weird.
Rude.
That's a good idea to see if it's playing in IMAX.
Yeah. So I'd like to. We're gonna go see it again back at the same theater. The smaller theater here in actual like in the city of Charlotte, they have 3D. They have 3D ability, and so they're showing it in 3D. So I might try to see it like later this week in 3D. I'd like to go see it like in an IMAX somewhere, or if there is the IMAX version.
In a friend of mine, IMAX or just regular IMAX?
I don't know. Like I have been to one of those like dome-like ones. Almost like 2 years ago now. We went to see Star Trek Into Darkness in Grand Rapids. I think this is before I even moved, technically. It was just when I came up to Toledo, and then I met up with my parents in Grand Rapids for a weekend, or like one of the days, and we went and saw it, and it was one of those like Omni dome-like ones that's like, big, long, so you're kind of like just encompassed in it. But it was also in 3D, and that because you don't have like a focal point the same as you do like a regular IMAX.
Right.
It was hard to like watch the 3D because you still have to have like you could see in like the corner of your eyes or you're like, wait a minute, why is it blurry over there? It's because it's getting out of focus because of the way the angle is and the fact that you could see parts that are not capturing the 3D.
Right.
So I'd probably want more like the IMAX I like that's just the big one they have like in Chicago, and the Tampa one. It's got the one, right? I think there's one IMAX in Tampa, wasn't there?
I don't know.
There's IMAX like one. It's not as big as the one I like. I saw the Dark Knight at the Navy Pier IMAX. Holy crap, was that awesome?
Because we saw. It was the one at Marbles. Was that a dome IMAX, Andrew?
Yeah. We saw
Because we
one,
saw Hobbit and Darkness in that, but without 3D,
and then we saw
and that was fantastic.
Discovery Place.
Right.
Um, a friend of mine went and saw it at like a drive-in theater last night, about an hour south of here. It'd be kind of fun to see it. Um, yeah, I'm kind of curious. I thought one of the AMC theaters was an IMAX theater, um, down in Tampa there. It wasn't like a traditional like huge. It was big, but it wasn't super big.
Was at like
I think it's down.
that 20?
I think it's at the one at the AMC that's down by the convention center.
Yeah, it lists the Veterans one is an IMAX. That's maybe the one I'm thinking of because I've been to the Veterans one a bunch when I dated Jillian. Because it's not the movie co.
Mm-mm.
There's one in St. Pete, it looks like.
Yeah, no, the IMAX no the one down by the movie co that was down by the Hooters and everything that didn't have an IMAX.
Oh,
I think I'm thinking of the Veterans one because that one's a really big building, and I think they had that one and the one in Oldsmar I think had an actual like IMAX.
Because there's one in St. Pete. It's way down in like it's past like Tropicana. It has this is and
Yeah.
IMAX.
Yeah, and I think they're like IMAX and like they've got one really big screen, but it's not. If it's
That
the one
IMAX.
I went to was like the Navy Pier one in Chicago was massive. It was like it had a whole pit between you and the screen.
Oh
It
wow.
was like holy cow. Yeah, like it was impressive to see the Dark Knight in that.
That would be good. Hmm.
But yeah, I haven't seen many like the bowl type ones or anything like that.
They're good if they're not in 3D.
But I think this would be a good movie to definitely see in it compared to even like some of the like superhero movies.
Hmm.
Because a lot of those are, have not done the great. I'd be curious to see it in, Jurassic World in 3D because I'm not quite sure. Like I remember moments that are like, oh yeah, that's really 3D-ish. Like they're really trying there.
Right. This one would be good. I like it.
But there's a lot of good stuff coming out. Pretty much up until almost the end of January or July, there's something good coming out. Like Ant-Man looks better now. I have more high hopes for it.
I like the trailer the first one I saw. There wasn't one at our
no,
theater for it.
I don't even think we really had that many previews.
I think we only had 3.
Yeah, a lot of times they have to like keep it short when they're having a lot of new movies, with and cramming in a lot of times on an opening weekend, so they can't really add a whole lot of extra.
Yeah.
They gotta have time to turn around each theater. You guys see my shirt my mom got me from like a like a like
Stand
a
up some.
like a nature area up in the UP of Michigan.
I like that.
It's like a Star Wars moose or like a Darth Vader moose and a bear and a wolf. And there's a C-3PO is a deer. And Chewbacca, I think, is like a woodchuck or something. Yep,
Yeah, you
it's
see his
totally a
little teeth.
woodchuck. So yeah, you guys need to go and go to Universal now and
Do the
see if they have,
raptor experience.
see if they've got new like Jurassic World stuff there.
Well, they did that raptor experience. Did you see a video for that?
No.
Yeah, they have now where a raptor comes out and you can go, I guess, pet it.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
That's hilarious.
I'll have to find a link to it so we can post it when we put this on Facebook.
I think it was. Yeah, I think I know where I saw that.
Hmm. But yeah, there's definitely. I need a new I need a shirt. I couldn't believe I didn't have a Jurassic Park shirt.
How do you not have
Same
a Jurassic
here.
Park shirt?
I thought I did.
Well, and I wore my like costume shirt when we went on Thursday night, and I'm picking up my sister and my niece and brother-in-law, and out they all come wearing like Jurassic World shirts that they had just got, like two of them they had just gotten at Walmart like just a couple weeks ago, like brand new ones, and it was like, well, I haven't seen those around anywhere yet. So apparently their Walmart out in Phoenix or out in Arizona there must have set up the display early. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, that or they would have gotten it better, like a better display, or they would have just gotten a display when places like our areas wouldn't have gotten one.
right. So I got to go to the Walmart and see if they've got. I like the Jurassic World logo, like their website has some that like you can go into a couple different sites and get shirts because I like the blue logo that they have that just has the dinosaur.
Hmm.
It doesn't say Jurassic World, it just has the blue logo. Um, I seen one shirt that like has like a whole like danger highly electric fence raptor sign like as the front of it.
Hmm.
But I kind of need like just a good Jurassic Park shirt.
Like the one that guy had on, just like the plain vintage Jurassic Park shirt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I like they hinted at like it was like vintage and he had to spend a lot of money on it on eBay because they probably never like sold any of that stuff officially. Probably just people took it off the islands because they never actually opened the park.
Oh, that's true.
Because probably my guess is that their way of getting around the legal stuff, they probably never actually called it Jurassic Park.
That's true.
So that they could kind of start anew, they basically called it the actual park, Jurassic World.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was interesting that they still had all that stuff from the original park still.
Just
It
in
must,
there.
yeah, it must have been in part of the like. How did they not? If they were able to capture like the T-Rex, how did they not like clean up and kind of
Get rid of some of the old stuff.
Yeah,
yeah? Why did they
remove the
not
other
clean it
stuff.
up or at least take everything from it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Apparently, you guys took a picture somehow,
Mm.
and now Andrew's like stuck as
I
his.
see that. I
Oh
think it
wait,
might
that's
have
his
been me when I
picture.
was trying to switch out. Let's see.
Yeah, his video's not showing up at all.
You still there, Andrew?
I don't know what happened.
There you go.
There you go.
Shoot, no, it's not doing the whole camera thing though. I hate that.
That was weird.
Yeah,
Let's see.
now it's
There.
not
Is
doing the
that
whole.
fixed?
Yeah, but now it's not doing the faults. Like whoever's talking.
Huh? I don't know.
It's on mine.
Is it? Oh, okay. It might just be on mine because I'm controlling the.
Yeah, because it went to her and then it went back to you.
It might just be because I'm controlling the um, camera setting now.
Ah,
But I don't know how to turn that off. That's the problem. Because that's what happened when we did last time. Is I pressed the button once to look at switch everybody's camera, and somehow it stayed that way. So I had to keep switching back and forth like manually. So Well, what else you guys have planned for today, or have done anything cool lately?
Where's the box for it?
Your monitor?
No, the Kirby game we just got.
Oh, I took it out here.
Yeah. Oh, I'm also thinking about I'm thinking about snagging the Jurassic World Lego game.
Are you? You have to
Yeah.
let us know how it is. We
Yeah.
saw it today.
Mark and my sister grabbed it for Ariel the other day when they were at the mall, but they didn't tell her yet. And I'm like, oh, kind of want to grab it.
We got this today.
Oh, nice. What is it? Kirby and the Rainbow Curse? All right.
Yes.
So it's a Kirby game. That's about
It
all I
is a
know.
Kirby game, and it's on the Wii U. And it's like everything is made of clay. It's so cute.
Is it like a side-scrolling game?
Aren't all Kirby games like that?
I don't know. I don't think I've actually played a Kirby game. The only thing I know Kirby from is Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, it's a back.
Um, well, I think this is going to be like a bit of a series of like their little craft ones because there's a Yoshi's Woolly World that comes out and it's balls of yarn.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, and I feel like this kind of goes along with it. So I can foresee there being other little craft type ones.
Mm-hmm.
So this is weird. It's a weird game to play.
Should be fun.
So it's an interesting,
Mm-hmm.
different type of game to play. It's not like a regular Kirby where you hit and you hit and you hit and he puffs up. It's you have to draw like where his path is going to be, and the little path like fades away, and it's interesting. It's weird. It's a weird game to play.
Fun.
That and Heaven's Word comes out next week, but early access starts this coming week, so we're pretty excited.
What's that?
Heaven's Word for Final Fantasy.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, you mentioned that you were trying to do a bunch of stuff before that dropped.
Yeah,
Yes.
I had to get my bard up quiet. I had to get my bard up to 50.
Nice. Yeah, I think just dinking around the next week or so with the uh but next Sunday I'm doing doing that longest day thing again for the Alzheimer's.
Hmm.
Did we sign up for
And
that? Because I think I tried to sign up for that, and I don't know if it worked.
yeah, you still can. You can sign up as my team. Basically, I just decided to do board games, and that because it was technically Father's Day that day, so it may be an uphill battle, but I rented out for about 5 hours the library, and I'm going to try to just see if people will come and play board games for a couple hours,
That would be
and,
cool.
and just donate a small portion of money, and kind of try to see if I can come up with a way to make it
You
con
could
like.
do like a Father's Day type thing, like board games. Spend time with your dad, I guess.
Yeah, I
Could you
mean,
do
I
that?
basically invited like a bunch. I'm not like having it open to the public, so I'm inviting a bunch of friends, and most people have
Right.
kids and stuff. So I'm hoping maybe they'll be like, oh yeah, we'll come, like check it out, and have time with their kids. But they may already have had something planned that they want to do for Father's Day. So um, the only part that sucks is I don't know if I'll be able to convince anybody in my family to start at 5 a.m. and start playing board games. Or any of I don't know if I'll be able to convince any of my friends around here to
To
start
start playing
that
board games.
early for no reason on a Sunday. But um, so I may have to figure out a way to make it work. It'd be cool. I'm trying to figure out if I could like play for a little bit like a board game with you guys, but I can't think of anything that other than I guess we could do like an online version of like Monopoly or something.
We could do that. There's got to
Um,
be like a way to do like
I know
something.
there's like a Cards Against Humanity like
There is.
online one. Because I've seen a couple people that did videos like like YouTube Borderlands, they would like post sometimes them playing like an online Cards Against Humanity. So maybe I'll look into like doing that because that would be really funny to
And that
do.
would be a lot of fun.
I know there's an app game that is called Evil Apples. It's basically the same thing. But then it'd be fun if we could actually capture the like gameplay.
Right.
So I will have to see if there's anything we can do. That'd be fun. Just play like Drunk Monopoly.
That
5
would be
a.m.
very
Drunk
fun.
Monopoly.
What's that?
5 a.m. Drunk Monopoly.
It's the
Right, and
weekend.
that's-
You can have
yeah.
mimosas whenever you want.
And that's what sucks about it being on a Sunday too, is that like you can't really plan like
Get too drunk.
yeah.
Not like if this was over 4th of July weekend, then that's a 3-day weekend, I think, for all of us
Right.
So
with Friday off.
we'll see. I'm just trying to do stuff to keep myself distracted, you know what I mean? So even I had grander plans of doing something more epic with that, but just
Right. I recall.
I just couldn't make it come to fruition enough of how I wanted, and as I realized that it's on Father's Day, I'm not going to get anybody to really commit. I just know no one will commit to participating in the right way.
Yeah, why would they do it on Father's Day?
They technically do it on the longest day of the year, so you can't really change that. So,
Right.
but here's the thing: I don't know why Father's Day is so late this year. I don't know when Father's Day is supposed to be, but it's usually not that late into June.
I know one time it was the 26th, because that was
Right.
when the Doctor Who finale was, because it was
Oh, okay.
on Father's Day, which was the same day they got married
Oh, yeah.
back in 2010, 10, I think.
So because last year I don't think we were as close to Father's Day. I think it was like the week before or week after. So, I thought at one point about like, I'll just scrap it and just try to do like, like bike race all day or something like that. But I thought, well, it's pretty easy for me to get the library for a couple hours on a Sunday. Like, couldn't hurt to see how it goes.
Right.
I think I have to pay like $30 for the 2 hours that I'm gonna use to set up and take down that aren't when the library's open, because they're only open from like 1 to 5.
Get pizza.
So, like,
Everyone will come for a pizza.
that's the thing. It's like, I gotta like spend another like, $50, and if I convince enough people to go and everybody donates, like drops off $5, I'll come out even, and had a good time with it, and so.
Not delivery. It's DiGiorno.
Yeah, they have. I don't think it's got a kitchen access, but I think you can do food there. You just can't. So, just get some like bunch of like Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut's got that giant pizza right now because we got one the other day that was like the breadstick pulling things,
Yeah, we did that.
and it was like me and my mom just got it, and my dad was eventually going to be home because I think I got it for like the hockey game last weekend or 2 weekends ago maybe now, from one of the other hockey games, and it was like, oh my god, this thing is massive.
Yes, we accidentally, stupidly got that.
We didn't accidentally.
Oh, we
Well,
still ate it all.
We didn't realize how big it would be.
Right. No, we
Say
didn't
that.
either. We had no idea.
Because I was like, oh, just hold this in the front seat. No, that had to go into the back seat.
Yeah.
And then, did you, by any chance, like to see how many calories were in that particular pizza?
No, not
Don't.
at all. Not at
Don't.
all. Nope.
Don't. That, when I say secret killer, that's not a secret killer. That's screaming at you, I'm 2 feet of death.
Right. Yeah, well, now they got that one that's got like gonna have like basically wieners in it, like little hot dogs in it, like as the crust.
Okay.
It's like
What's on your mind?
I don't know what I was thinking, but all I know is I heard.
You hadn't
little
heard about that
wieners
one?
in it. No.
Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
Herbert.
that's how they like pat it. That's how
I
they
know.
pat down the dough. They like like slap like guys' dicks on it and like get the dough all flattened out.
Dick print pizza.
Right.
See, like I was like I think I was
Who
more
them the hospital
concerned.
down for it.
I'm not quite sure what I thought it was. Maybe in my mind, I thought it was like hot dogs that were all cut up inside. I don't know. But the fact that Nate called them wieners, I think is what threw me off. Little wieners in
Right.
your pizza, everybody.
That
Wiener
makes
for you
sense.
and a wiener for everybody. Does you want 2 wieners in your pizza the size of 2, or did you want one with 3? that's and I still keep going back to that. So if you are off of that topic, I'm sorry. I can't stop thinking about Nate saying
Yeah.
wieners and pizza.
Yeah, we can be off that topic. So yeah, that's about all I got going on for like at least next week. And then after that, like the Batman game comes out, and it's kind of like there's a lot of stuff to do up here as far as summer stuff. So I'm not.
You said there is a lot.
There's it's pretty up here, so it's easy to go
And
find
it's
stuff
not
to do that doesn't involve
deadly hot.
looking at a computer. So
You could probably go rafting.
yeah, I think we're gonna go camping at some point. I think for 4th of July weekend, tagging along with Becky and other people on like a pontoon boat for the day to drink and
Wait, when are you doing that?
I think for like around 4th of July weekend.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought it might be sooner, and I was going to say, I don't care how creepy you have to be. I need you to get my sweater.
yeah, I'll see them before then.
Okay. I figured you would. And I was talking to the other Amanda, and I was telling her, I was like, I'm just going to have Nate get my sweater for me. And she's like, you're just going to have him rummage around in her closets. And I said, I don't care how creepy he has to be. I want my sweater.
Well, so wait, she thought I would just like try to sneak and steal it. I wouldn't ask for it.
Breaking and entering.
I guess it's maybe
Like,
like
just-
go to their house, you'd be at their house, but you'd be like, oh, wait a minute, Amanda put me on a mission, and you just
Right,
start
like-
opening all the closets.
Like just show up at their house and be like, hey, I want you guys to go see something out in my car. Why don't you guys go and check it out? And take like 10 minutes. I'll just wait. I'll wait here in the kitchen while you guys go out and do that.
You lock them out.
And then lock them out and like rummage through their clothes for.
Yeah. That works.
Yeah. Just start
I don't even know
looking,
what
just open up the closet and just start looking for my sweater.
I don't even know what it looks like.
I know exactly which sweater it is. So it's a gray sweater. So when you start to be creepy, look for a gray sweater.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's a gray, comfortable convention sweater because it's the sweater I used to go to my conventions.
Okay. I'm sure they will know which one it is. So yeah.
Becky knows exactly which one it is.
Right.
So if you opt for the non-creepy version, you can just say, hey, can you give me Amanda's sweater?
Yeah.
Go with the creepy one. Creepy one's funnier.
I prefer the non-creepy one. It will help ensure that it's not a, hey, Nate, what are you doing with that piece of clothing? And then my sweater gets stretched out because she goes to take it out of your hand. You're like, no, it's my creepy sweater, and you run away.
Well, what would be
How
funny
I point
is
that out is like she goes to grab it out of your hand and you're running, and then my sweater gets.
no. What would be funny is if I do this, but I get caught. But I'm like looking through her like underwear drawer, going, I thought the sweater would be in here. I just assumed it would be. Isn't this where you put the sweaters? Like, with
Isn't
the
this where
underwear?
sweaters go? You walk out and there's just like underwear all over the place.
Right.
Oh
I
my
couldn't find the
God.
sweater. I just couldn't find it. I don't know where it went, but it wasn't at the bottom of this underwear drawer like I thought it would be.
It might be in here.
Okay. Now I'm tired.
And Nate talked about underwear. He's tired. He's exhausted. Wieners and pizza and underwear. This has been entirely too much conversation.
Too much excitement for Nate in one day.
Mm-hmm. Overstimulation. So.
Not to mention dinosaurs.
So yeah,
Right.
I will let you guys know if I find anything else out about watching the movie again. If I
Okay.
catch anything catch anything, we'll have to maybe just make a blog post of like all the Easter eggs we can track down. I'll just bring a notepad with me, and that won't be nerdy.
It won't be nerdy.
I'll get like a little flashlight pen out
big...
and like write notepad.
Jumbo pencils.
Yeah, I was gonna say, make sure you use your jumbo pencil.
Okay, I'm just gonna like make that a GIF right there. No, it was funnier her doing it because she was coming at it by the end.
And then he could sneak in some of his pizza with wieners in it.
Well, now you're just asking me to like digitally put stuff in. Now you're just putting like you're opening your hand and like
with the ranch
waving it around. Right? Yeah. I'm just gonna put like a little like floating ranch dressing guy or something somewhere. Or like Hidden Valley like jar or something like that. Why is your hand why is it getting bigger? Why is the like fist getting bigger?
What?
But the first time you did that, you like it was like clenched together, like, and now you got like G.I. Joe grip where it was like twice as wide.
Well, I said, I was like, first it was just get a pen and paper, and I was like, no, you need to get one of those jumbo ones, so you can just be like, write down on your paper the Easter eggs.
Right.
That.
I don't think you understand why you're making fun of me.
I don't. I'm trying to justify what I did.
It's a special black pencil.
No, I want to justify what I did.
A purple crayon. So wrong. So wrong. So wrong.
Hey, that was you.
Yeah, it was, man. That was my phone. Okay, well, let's call it good. We'll end this meeting of the minds, and we'll have to come up with a plan for our next one. But for those that have listened, we appreciate it, and those who have watched this, we're sorry. And everybody have a good day.
I can justify it.
Yeah, get your mind out of the gutter.
I had a reason.
Nope.
What's that?
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.